Hello friends and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing another fabulous fall DIY. I have 2 rolls of burlap and to get started, I'm basically going to weave this in and out of the wire pumpkin frame. So I'm going to gather it up and I'm going to zip tie it to the frame to get started. So here I just gather it up and I go to that outer wire of the frame and I'm going to zip tie it, and I want that zip tie all the way to the back of that frame. Get it nice and tight and I'm going to trim that zip tie off. Okay, friends, once I get situated, I'm going to do this as a weaving method in and out of those bars. Hopefully, I can explain this as best I can. It was kind of a struggle to get started, but once I found my rhythm, I was good. So here I'm going over one, under one, over one, under one. And it's best to do this if you cut strips, not trying to use the whole roll at the same time, but cut them down into strips. It makes it a lot more manageable. So once I weave them in and out and I get to the other side, I wrap it around that last bar around the outside, and I'm going to come back the other way. And as I'm doing this, I'm kind of squishing the burlap down. I want it nice and tight. I'll show you here, it's like a weaving pattern, but I do want it nice and tight, and I scrunch it all the way down. So now I'm going to go around that outer bar and do the same thing going the opposite direction. And of course I didn't cut my strip long enough, so I have to put a zip tie on the first bar in, but it's okay. It worked out just fine. I just zip tie it down, and I take that zip tie, the little nub of the zip tie, and kind of push it back to the back part of the wreath. So here I'm starting another layer. I'm going to zip tie it off, and then I'm going to go over and under until I make my way to the other side. This is probably one of the most difficult projects I've ever done. I did one a couple of years ago, and last year I didn't do any of the pumpkin ones. I don't think I did anyway. But this year I was like, I haven't done one in a while. Let's give her a go. I was actually looking for orange burlap, and I couldn't find it anywhere. I went to Walmart, I went to Hobby Lobby, no, I did not go to Hobby Lobby. I went to Michael's because it was Sunday when I decided this, and Hobby Lobby's not open. So here I go. I'm going over one, under one, over one, under one, made my way all the way to the other side, and I'm going to wrap that last bar and then come back through and do the same thing until I make my way to the other side. I'm also trying to keep it tight and scrunch it down as I go. I got my pumpkin frame from Hobby Lobby 2 years ago, I believe. They had them on sale. It was probably uh, probably after Thanksgiving, and I bought a ton of them. They're a good quality too. I have seen the Dollar Tree ones, but I like these a lot better. I am going to speed this part up because I'm not trying to torture y'all, because this was a struggle, but I made it through. I made it happen, and it's actually beautiful at the end. So this is what I have so far. I thought it turned out nice. It does look like a basket, and the wire is showing through, and it was fine. I think it looks just fine. Out of the 2 rolls, this is what I had left. So I had plenty. I'm going to use this rope that I have to wrap the stem of my pumpkin. While I have my glue gun heating up, I decided I'll go ahead and make the bow. So I pulled out my bow maker. I'm going to use that to help me hold the ribbons because I have 4 different ribbons. So, and I had a little bit of this pumpkin ribbon left, and I wanted to just go ahead and use it up. So I'm going to do 4 loops with that ribbon. So you make a loop, you twist, you make another loop, you twist again, and you make another loop and you twist. The best advice I have, friends, is to just keep making bows. You will get it. Practice makes perfect. So once I have the first layer made, I'm just going to put that down into the 2 dowels on that bow maker. And it's going to sit there waiting for me. Next, I wanted to go in with this 1.5-inch fall plaid ribbon, and I make 3 loops with that one. So loop and twist, and cut it off, and I put it down in those 2 dowels. Next, I'm going to go in with this kind of neutral beige 1.5-inch, and I'm going to do the same thing, 3 loops, and put it down into the dowels. Okay, going in with the last ribbon, 3 loops of the green. Once I have all of my loops made, I'm going to go in with a zip tie, and I'm going to I want to make sure I have all the ribbons on one side. I want that zip tie underneath those ribbons. So I'm going to take it to the middle part of that bow maker, and I'm going to start the zip tie off. I'm not going to crank it all the way down. I'm just going to get it started, and I'm going to use the zip tie to get it out of the bow maker. So here I'm going on one side of that bow, making sure I've got all the ribbons in there. Going in with the zip tie, but I'm not going to crank it all the way down. I'm using it to pull it out of the bow maker. Once I get it out of there, I take the zip tie to the back and I add a pipe cleaner. This way I have a way of attaching this bow to my pumpkin. Okay, now I'm going to mess with my loops and get them the way I want them. They call this fluffing the bow. They also call this breaking the bow. Okay, now I'm going to trim up my tails. The 2.5-inch ribbon, I do dovetail them, but the 1.5, I just cut it aslant. To me, it looks more elegant. I really like how this bow turned out. The colors, the layers of the loops, I just loved everything about this bow. Okay, friends, now I'm going to work on the stem of the pumpkin. So my glue gun is ready for me. I'm going to get my finger guards on, and I'm going to start wrapping this with this rope that I have. I'm going to give it a little bit of glue on one side just to adhere it so it doesn't go anywhere. And I'm just going to keep wrapping and gluing, wrapping and gluing. I don't glue every wrap around the stem, but I do it like every third or fourth one. Now that I'm closer to the top part of that stem, I'm kind of wrapping it around that very top part of the stem. I'm not going like around it, but I'm wrapping at the very top. So before I made it all the way to the top part, I left some room so that I could feed the rope through the actual stem so I could wrap the top. I hope I'm explaining this properly. So once I was done with that, I took the rest of the rope and I kind of glued it down in the back and then zip tied it off. Okay, friends, now I'm going to attach my bow. That's probably the easiest part of this whole project. I just looped it through and twist tied it off in the back and then cut it off and wrapped it around some of the frame and called it a day. Now I'm gonna mess with my bow a little bit more because I can't leave well enough alone. I had this floral bush laying around. I believe I purchased it from the Dollar Tree, so I trimmed it all up. And I'm going to give a little bit of glue to each one of those fall leaves, and I'm going to place them randomly in my bow. Even though this project was a little challenging for me, I love the end result. I love how it turned out. Leave me a comment. What do you folks think? Friends, this is my completed project. I want to thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.